In the heart of the night, the doll's eyes glistened, reflecting an eerie glow that would make even the bravest shudder. This apparition was not a mere child's plaything. It was an entity that held a certain unsettling power in its porcelain form, a chilling manifestation of the supernatural. Its icy stare, piercing through the thick veil of darkness, was a sinister beacon of fear. Encased in its petite and seemingly innocent stature lay an unfathomable depth of malignant energy that was pure terror in its most potent form. This doll was christened with a name that spiked fear in the hearts of the townsfolk: Bloody AHANA. This name was not a title assigned randomly or thoughtlessly. Rather, it was derived from the countless tales of terror that through the narrow, dimly lit alleyways of our town. Legends whispered in hushed tones, stories of horror recounted with tremors of dread, all revolved around this doll. The tales were of such intensity that they would make the blood in your veins run cold, the fear gripping your heart in an icy embrace. This was not just a simple toy, lost and forgotten. No, Bloody AHANA was a name etched deep into the history of our town, a chilling legacy of eerie happenings and unexplained incidents that continued to haunt the residents, an embodiment of the past that refused to fade into oblivion. The mere mention of the name would send a shiver down the spine, a chill that would linger long after the tale was told. They called her Bloody AHANA, a name not given lightly, but earned through tales of terror whispered in the darkest corners of our town. From the very first page of my narrative, I introduce myself to you as Tripti, a young woman in the prime of her 20s. I stand tall, independent, embodying strength and nursing a natural affinity for the exhilarating aspects of life. Tale is not just about a woman's independence, it is also about resilience, fortitude, and an unquenchable zest for life. Since the tender age of 18, I have been carving out my journey away from the safety and comfort of family home. The impetus for this significant life change was a dual event that had a profound impact on me: the untimely demise of my loving mother and the swift decision by my father to remarry. These events, as life-altering as they were, became that forged my spirit, driving me from the sanctuary of childhood into the challenging landscape of adulthood. Losing my mother was like having a safety net cruelly snatched away from me. It was during this tumultuous period that I grappled with grief, betrayal, and the stark realization that life can be unjust. My father's rush into a second marriage, a mere year after my mother's departure, dealt a hard blow to my young heart. But it was these incidents that compelled me to venture out into the world, carving out my destiny, armed with resilience and fortified by experiences. Such is the way of life. It is often the most severe trials that thrust us prematurely from the innocence and safety of childhood into the stark and unpredictable realities of adulthood. Recently, my father underwent heart surgery, a chilling reminder of our inescapable mortality. This procedure, invasive and daunting as it was, sparked in me a deep-rooted fear, an emotion I had managed to keep at bay until now. It was the fear of losing him, of having to say goodbye too soon, much like farewell I had to bid to my dear mother. This fear, potent and persistent, consumed my thoughts. It was unfamiliar territory, a dark place I had never ventured into before. The possibility of losing the other half of the love that raised me, the half that had survived the storm of life, filled me with dread. It was a dread that lingered, a constant ghost hovering over my every moment, my every breath. In the midst of this emotional turmoil, I made a choice. I chose not to surrender to the fear, but instead to celebrate life, love, and family. With a heart full of hope and a mind determined to make the most of every precious moment, I decided something. It was a decision that seemed mundane but held profound meaning for me. I decided to break the ice and celebrate my birthday on the 18th of September with my family after a long, long time. Stepping into the home I once knew, I found myself in an eerie waltz with my stepmother. The house that once held countless memories of laughter and joy now held a different resonance. The scent of lavender and fresh-baked bread that used to fill the air was replaced with the musty odor of old books and mothballs. The once lively living room was filled with an awkward silence, only by the creaking of the old wooden floor beneath our feet. Our relationship, as I mentioned, was as frosty as a winter's night. It was as if an invisible wall of ice stood between us, chilling every attempt at conversation. I yearned for warmth, for the possibility of a thaw, I strive to bridge the gap between us, to break the ice, to kindle a fire in the landscape of our bond. Maybe you're wondering, is she the villain in this chilling tale of my life? It's a tempting assumption, isn't it? It's easier to paint someone in the harsh, unforgiving colors of a villain than to accept the complexities of human relationships. But important to remember, every story needs a villain, doesn't it? Yet let's not rush to conclusions. After all, there's more than meets the eye in this uncanny dance we were sharing. In this story mine, there is also a doll. An innocent-looking doll with a charming smile that hides a deeper, darker secret. So you see, this story isn't just about my relationship with my stepmother. It's about this doll, which played a significant role in our unsettling dance. But let's not jump to conclusions just yet. This story is about a doll, after all. Bloody AHANA, a doll given to me by my grandmother. This is no typical doll, but a chilling testament to an unspoken legacy. Her haunting glare, her uncanny aura, they allude to an unsettling uniqueness, a darkness that's both fascinating and terrifying in equal measure. She seems to harbor secrets and stories that are whispered in hushed tones, tales that instill a sense of unease, tales that make the bravest souls quiver. These are not your regular bedtime stories, but tales steeped in mystery and fear that resonate with an eerie dread. But those are just stories, right? So, as my birthday dawned and the celebrations began, a sense of anticipation filled the room. The house was decorated with bright balloons and sparkling streamers, echoing the festive spirit. Laughter and cheers filled the air, punctuated by the occasional pop of a champagne bottle. The table was spread with my favorite foods, their aromas gently wafting. And amidst it all, on a high wooden shelf, sat Bloody AHANA. Resigned to her silent existence, she bore silent witness to it all. Her glossy, glassy eyes watching, always watching, and that's when it occurred. However, it's a pity, my dear listener. Seems we have run out of time for this session. We must conclude our story here for the time being. The continuation of this thrilling tale will have to be postponed until our next encounter. Are you willing to accompany me once more on this riveting journey, to delve deeper into the enigma, the story of Bloody AHANA? Only those possessing the courage to venture into the unknown will unravel the hidden truths. Are you prepared to confront the mystery, to challenge your fears and preconceptions? Only the brave will uncover the truth.